Welcome to autonomous driving, where you should not forget to pray. At the moment I'm going to show you guys the 066 on my way to work so that we can compare once we start the 071 work today. At the moment we still have problems with the CPU and battery temperature. The UI crashes sometimes with the messaging system, and so we get zero indicator there sometimes, but that's just going to be fixed with the new version. And so I can engage. No sudden braking at low speeds. I can jump up by 5 kilometers per hour by holding the stock up. At the moment it can't recognize for cars coming from the right, because in Germany we have right of way from the right, but it does notice that there is some kind of roundabout coming up and slows me down, and so I can take the corner nicely without it being too fast. It's anyway slowing down for the 30 speed zone. And roundabout again. I need to turn in the roundabout. That's the only turn that I really need to make, except for the last 90-degree turn at the end. I'll up the speed so that we're up to the 100 kilometers per hour that's allowed on these roads, and then I should be able to just cruise, letting Openpilot do the rest. As it takes the corners, the set speed reduces because of the angle. It's checking the maps and calculating the curvature of the road and the rate of change of curvature and applying a speed set for that. So if it's showing 100 is what the street allows, it's set to 105, but it's only driving 80. It's because that corner in front only allows for 75 safely to navigate around without it losing its centering, which is pretty nice. So I need to do nothing at the moment. I'm not using commas braking for the curvature because it's a bit sharp. It sees it a bit late and then it's quite heavy on the brakes. Using the maps, you have 500 meters before the ability to see the curvature of the road, and so it's quite smooth. So at the moment no input is needed. If you've wondered what this blue thing is here, I've got a new temperature monitor so that I can check what the maximum temperature, the Eon, and I've also got one underneath the shield at the top there to know what are the actual temperatures in the car. Now with the comma 2 having so much thermal support, I want to make sure that my Eon does not exceed specific temperatures. At the moment with the air redirect, it's getting nice cool air from the air conditioning, which is pretty useful. And even with oncoming traffic, I'm quite confident that Openpilot will just navigate me completely through. My polarized film, I can just raise and lower depending on the sun. I do have a bit of drift to the side on some corners, so there is room for improvement for getting it more centered, but we'll deal with that in 0.7. At the moment we have the 70 kilometer per hour sign there in the background and the roundabout coming up. Openpilot is doing all the braking for me. I don't need to touch anything, and it will safely bring me down to a speed where I can enter the roundabout. From here I will need to navigate around because it doesn't really know where I want to go, and it doesn't know that this car is not going to get onto my path. So one disengagement for the car, and we carry on. Even just letting it go midway around out of the roundabout, it takes over pretty nicely. It sees the road, it's got enough torque to navigate around. So the vision system is working well. The braking system is working also well. At the moment, you see in my windscreen there's somebody tailgating me. I can just change from eco mode to normal mode, and now the car should accelerate a bit faster. We have a sharp braking here somewhere in the roundabout sometimes, which I'm not sure exactly where that comes from. Now with the normal mode, we're accelerating a bit faster and we're braking later, which at least helps the people not get too irritated while I'm trying to save a bit of petrol. Next roundabout coming, always difficult with the traffic coming across. I need to do a soft disengage where the longitudinal controls are then disabled. I just push the set button back up, and so it carries on. The road traffic signs are also working nicely. It picks up the 50. 50 is on the dash. 50 gets sent to the Eon, and without the globe being on, I know that that's the 50 coming from the car. And that's pretty nice in road work areas or where traffic speeds are changing sometimes. So we accelerate out. I'll switch to sport mode so that you guys can see what sport mode is at the moment. So we're still 50 till this yellow sign, which is nicely mapped on OpenStreetMaps, and then we accelerate to 100. And so we've got a quite good acceleration. And we don't make it all the way to 100 because of that bend in the curve in front is not possible to take at higher than 80 and keep you centered. So Openpilot automatically does not allow 100 in that circumstance. With the sport mode, it brakes very late for the roundabout, but it does reach the right speed when entering. We've got a car coming up, but I'm pretty sure we'll make it round. I need to hold a little bit, and so I can already let go, and Openpilot does amazing job. I'll switch back to eco, and the car does not sound like it's trying to accelerate too much. And so we've almost made it, with one soft disengagement, one hard disengagement, because it just can't see the traffic coming around the roundabout, and the rest of the time just watching as the maps do their job, as the vision does its job. Braking is smooth, consistent. Taking over is no problem. You can brake and it won't completely disengage. You can accelerate and it will just carry on like the normal stock system. Here we don't have any lane lines, but Openpilot does a good job in picking up where the road ends on the right hand side, and so it's doing a good job. We'll be turning left here into a 10 km/h road and not be stopping for the obstacles. Before, when I used to turn in here to park, it would pick up all the parked cars and stop for them, which is quite irritating. Switching into neutral, I don't get the beeping alarm. Switching into reverse is the same idea.